Hi. Sorry, I have been gone. I don't really have an excuse. I just didn't really have the ability to film or the time to edit, and yeah, I just kind of lost a lot of passion in my life, but I'm back. I'm here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to share some books with you today. This is also my 200th video, which is pretty cool. I thought I would just mention that, which is pretty exciting. I'm wearing a crocheted vest that I made based off of that one Wednesday show. Yeah, I think that's it for updates for me. So let's start talking about books. Before we get started though, hi, my name is Emily and I make writing and bookish content here on YouTube. And today, you know, we're a couple weeks into August now, which means that spooky season is on its way. I've been knitting Halloween themed socks. I'm almost done with the first of the pair, which I'm super excited about. And so I've just been getting excited for Halloween and fall and, you know, for the weather to cool down. As you can tell by the way I'm dressed, I'm very excited to be able to wear stuff like this every day. I want to talk about the books that I want to read this fall. Now, this is not a complete list of the books that I want to read this fall, but they're the most like fall, autumnal centric ones, the ones that I think really bring the sort of feeling that I want for this time of year. A couple of them are rereads, and then a couple of them are books that are new to me, but most of them are not like new releases. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm not really sure. So let's dive into it. The first book I want to talk about is These Witches Don't Burn. The way I got this book is actually kind of a funny story. At our local coffee shop, there's a table where you can drop books off to like donate them, and then you can also take books. And so Hugo and I have donated probably like 20 books to this table, but I walked in one day and saw this one sitting there, and this one has been on my TBR for a while. I've mentioned it in a couple other videos, and this one just happened to be there, and so I took it right away. I knew I wanted to read it, and I've just been waiting for the perfect time to read it, and the fall is, I think, the perfect time to read it, and I'm very excited for it. It's witchy, it's fall-esque, it's got some romance in it, so this is one I'm very, very excited for. This next one is the newest book on the list. I think I said there were no new releases on this list, but this one actually might be a new release. This came out in 2022, and I had actually never heard of this book. Hugo actually picked it up for me at the store as like a little gift, which was super sweet of him, and it's The Luminaries, and I fell in love with this cover immediately. He said that's why he picked it out for me. I love the orange, I love the skull, the moon, everything. It's giving me just everything that I want with this time of year, with the fall. I guess it's not fall yet. I'm getting overexcited. I don't know that much about it. It kind of, from the back of it, gives me a similar, it's not a similar plot, but it gives me a similar feeling to the House of Hollow book, which I really, really loved. This has something more to do with hunting, like they're a hunter family. I don't know what they're hunting. I don't know what sort of magical elements are in this, if any, but the back is kind of giving like horror-esque. There's like something bad in the forest. So I'm very excited about this one to see what this is. I love that I'm going in pretty blind to the book, and because I had never even heard of it. I've never heard anyone talk about it yet. So this is exciting for me. I'm pretty pumped for this one. Next is a favorite amongst people my age and a little bit older, I think. And I think it's a Booktok favorite because I've seen people talk about it, but I had known about this for a while since I started BookTube, and I've been wanting to read it because of the concept, and that is Scythe. And I really don't know much about this one. I don't know how I missed this series when it came out and how it just like never was on my radar, but I'm borrowing this one from my friend and I'm so excited to read it. If you don't know what it's about a society where people no longer die, and so one of the jobs of the people in the society is to kill people. And so the main character is one of the people who is a scythe who goes around and they kill people. Like that's their job because people don't die anymore. Pretty interesting because they're teenagers and this is their job. So I'm very curious about this book. It's a trilogy, so if I really like the first one, I'm hoping to read the rest of it, but I have been waiting for this one, and I'm so glad that I have it now to read for the fall. Next is a favorite of mine. It's been one of my favorite books since I first read it, and that's Coraline. This is going to be a reread for me. It's a Neil Gaiman book. I feel like most people have read this book or at least heard of it. I don't remember the last time I read this book, but I'm very excited to read it again. It's such a quick read, but so spooky, and I don't know how Neil Gaiman has gotten away with writing this as a children's novel for so long. Sorry if you hear the plane above me. I don't know. There's so much happening outside today. So the basic story, if you don't know, is Coraline is a young girl and she and her parents move into this new house and there's something very off about it, and she finds a doorway that leads into another kind of parallel world with an other mother and an other father, and things are just, yeah, they're really not what they seem. So I love this book. It is so creepy and so scary, and I cannot wait to reread it and like relive all of my childhood fears. And this edition has the really scary illustrations in it that are like, oh, they're so creepy. This story. Neil Gaiman has a way with like children's literature. I don't know what it is. Yeah. The next book I want to talk about is the nonfiction book on this list, and that is The Witches. Now, this is one that I started reading years ago, and I never finished it because it was at the time when Hugo came to visit me in the States, and then like after that I went to Belgium and I didn't have it with me, and then my mom sent it to me in the mail, so I finally have it again so I can finally finish this book. It is a nonfiction book about the witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts in the 1600s. From my understanding, this is fairly well researched, and it's just kind of giving different reasons why this could have happened and just kind of how everything went down. And kind of just talking about the witch trials, why they happened, how they happened, some theories about it as well. And then we really get a glimpse into the people that were murdered during the witch trials, which is really interesting to me. I am very interested in the history of the witch trials. I know about it, but I'm not super well informed on it, so I'm hoping that this gives me some insight into it, and then if I really enjoy it, maybe I can learn more about it. I'm not really sure. I really like Stacy's prose in this book. From the little bit that I had read, it's a very easy to read historical account of it, so that's why I'm really excited to read this book, and yeah, I can't wait to finally get around to it again. The next book I have is The Ninth House, which is one that I have been seeing everywhere for years now. This is a dark academia book, and I really don't know much about it. It's interesting that it takes place at Yale, seeing as I just started, well, I'm almost finished now. I've been watching Gilmore Girls. I'm pretty interested in all of that. It's about like secret societies. We've got probably some murder going on and some magic in that realm as well. So I feel like that's everything that I love about fall and like reading books with those kinds of I hate using the word vibes now, but like with those kinds of feelings in it, where we kind of get this like, you know, you've got like the death and decay, but you've also got the magic, and there's just like your secrets, everything's going on. That really just gives me that entire feeling of autumn and fall. So I'm very excited for this one. It's way bigger than I thought it was. Like, I know it's not that long of a book, but it's still longer than I thought it would be, with such a large copy of it. So I am excited though. I hope it's good. Last but not least, I will be rereading one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Dracula. I will hopefully be reading this in October. Hugo is going to read it for the first time with me. We have actually 3 editions of this book in our house. We have like a Wordsworth classic, and then we have this like really, really beautiful edition, hardcover. I don't know what it's from. He would know. We have like other books and like a matching set, but that book is so beautiful. And then we have this copy, and this is my copy that we bought. And it also has Dracula's Guest, which is another story written by Bram Stoker that wasn't published with the original Dracula. And it also contains some of his other short stories. But I think Dracula's Guest is a prequel, or it's like a short story that like goes with it. I'm not really sure, honestly, because I didn't know about it until I saw this copy in the store. But I'm so excited to read Dracula. It is my favorite fall autumn story. I can't wait to reread it. I love Dracula so much. I just finished A Dowry of Blood, and so it's gotten me really excited to read more vampire stories. And yeah, vampires have just been something that I've loved my whole life, ever since, you know, way back in the day when Twilight was big and everything. I also read all of those crazy vampire teen novels, and yeah, so I love Dracula. I love that this is the book that kind of started it all, and I cannot wait to reread this one. It is the pinnacle of gothic horror for me, and I just cannot wait to reread it. So those are just 7 books that I have kind of set aside to read this fall. I'm very, very excited to get through them and talk about them and hopefully share them with you as that goes on. If you're more interested in seeing a more day-to-day updates with like what I'm reading and doing, actually I would suggest following my Instagram. I will have it linked below. I'm not that much more active on there, but I do update what I'm reading more frequently. If you are reading anything interesting this fall, definitely let me know down below. I would love to hear what you're reading and talk to you about it. There are so many more books that I want to read this fall. I hope I can get through all of them. I hope I can get through all of these and more. I'm really not sure. I will have to be really good about staying up to date and consistent with my reading schedule right now. But we will see. I'm always hopeful that I get through everything I want to. As always, thank you so much for being here and for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel for more of my bookish and writing content. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.